So we're here with Bruce Baker, who's the chairman of the Professional Boxers Promoters Association. You just heard what the board have to say in regard to area councils and a few other issues. Can you just explain the situation and to what's happening?
The situation is that up until this point, 2 area councils were financial councils and the other 6 were non-financial councils. Non-financial councils was an invention of the board 23 years ago, whereby they appointed all the representatives on each area council. Prior to that, all the area councils were financial councils. When the board started, it was a regulatory body, a self-regulatory body. That is to say, all the area councils were nominated by the licence holders, and the licence holders gave up the vote at the AGM so that their representatives, the area councils, could vote in their place. Over the years, the Border Control has, for want of a better word, done away with financial councils to the extent that there's just 2 remaining, the northern area and the central area. They are made up of licence holders. In the articles, under that system, the licence holders had a vote, albeit a limited one. This vote today has basically said that if you're involved in professional boxing in any way in a financial manner, you're not allowed to vote. And frankly, in most other sports, if you're a stakeholder, if you put money into the sport, you have a say in how the sport is run. We don't have that say, and that's what we're fighting against.
Do you think there's a risk that the sport could fall into hands of people who don't know how it operates, and that could be to the sport's detriment?
That's what's happening. Area councils are full of barristers, lawyers, policemen who have no real idea on the way boxing runs, and they follow a rule book that's made by barristers and lawyers. In fact, the Border Control now has made itself like FIFA. 12 directors of the board have absolute power over every aspect of professional boxing in this country, which must be to the detriment.
What do you make of the board's own claim that financial councils in themselves are a conflict of interest?
If they were a statutory body and not a limited company, they could say what they like, but they are a limited company, and limited companies are run by the members in general meeting. Every other company in the country is run by the shareholders in general meeting. Whether the board like it or not, licence holders are members of the company and should have the vote. It's not a question of whether it conflicts or not. It started off in 1926 when the board originally started as a club. If they'd said, well, you're going to be governed by people who are not involved in professional boxing, it would never have been born. The Border Control would never have been born under the present rules, because licence holders wouldn't have stood for it. So I reject that. And legally, there is nothing illegal about financial people dealing with other financial people and in a framework of regulations. It's a nonsense.
The board have said in one of the papers that we've seen that there would be a new system in place where they would have forums and meetings for licence holders to get things off their chest and put their ideas forward. What are your feelings on that? Because it does seem like it's quite a difficult process to operate.
What we want is our statutory rights to vote. We all get one vote. We're all responsible to the company for £1, and that makes us members. Us paying a fee and getting a licence makes us members, and as members we should have the vote. We don't want to sop. They don't have to take any notice of anything we say at a forum, and frankly it's piffle.
So basically they're just taking the power away and keeping it for themselves.
You said they're taking the power away. I thought you were going to say something else. And that's something else who's probably exactly right. They're FIFA. They don't have to. They're not accountable to anybody. They vote themselves in to office. When they're in office, they appoint the area councils. And the area councils tell us what to do, and we have no say whatsoever in the rules that they make. So we have ever more rules, ever more ridiculous rules. At our shows, we have people that they appoint making problems for us with nonsenses like what colour shorts are you going to wear, and fining boxes if they turn up with the wrong shorts and their shoelaces are done up the wrong way. It's a crazy situation.
Now, the issue with financial councils, them saying it's conflict of interest, is the board not guilty of a little bit of hypocrisy when some of their own, shall we say, committee members are themselves paid for doing work for governing bodies such as WBC, etc.?
Absolutely right. That's a suggestion that was made in the meeting, that some of the directors receive payment for this sort of work. I don't see anything wrong with it, but it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy to say you can't be financially involved, but we can, and these are the new rules. So I'd accuse them of hypocrisy.